I'm going to share some of that, which is like Linda cares so much about the women that she works with. Like, I really, and I'm sure I can say that, she can say that, but like for you all to see Linda's heart in this and the way that she is intentionally designing like every aspect of the brand, the business, everything has a strategic place and it's all meant to serve you better, especially those that have been around since the beginning that have maybe taken a chance on Linda before the brand was where it's at today and continue to work with her through that. And so for me to see that from afar is just like there's nothing better because that's the type of business that I want to be in.
Mompreneurs, it's not business, baby. It's business and babies. Whether you're rocking the carpool line, building your business during nap time, or dreaming big after bedtime, we've got the tools, tips, and strategies to help you grow your business. Grab a snack, your headphones, and enjoy this time with us because mom life and boss life deserve balance.
Welcome back to Motivating Mompreneurs. I am speaking on my headphones. I apologize for the audio in this episode, but I'm here sitting down with Christina as we are trying to get a grasp of Motivating Mompreneurs and Motivating Mompreneur Society and what it is that we're about. And the verdict has come in. Christina, you want to let them know?
Well, thank you. So what we have basically landed on is that we've been doing email marketing all along. That is how Linda has grown Linda Mendable. That is how she's grown monetizing mompreneurs. And it's actually funny because that's even how I am here with you today. It's because I replied to one of your emails, right? So when we look at what is it that is going to really draw people in, we know what we do and we know what results we bring, but from the outside looking in, which of those things is going to resonate most? And we realized it's the email marketing because that's actually at the core of everything we've been doing. And it's also what allows Christian mompreneurs like us to build businesses that don't require us to be at the center of everything. And it helps us just capture so much more opportunity when we're not just relying on like spraying and praying over social media, because even with ads, you're still hoping that the right people are going to see it. But what if with your ads, you capture an email and maybe they don't buy right away, but now they're able to stay in touch with you. You keep them in your world. It's the same as having a phone number in your phone. You can check in on these people. You can send them new offers. So we really want to pivot towards all of our products, services, marketing, communications, helping Christian mompreneurs build a business around email marketing so they can have these lists that they can actually sell to. So, Linda, do you have anything to add to that, or did I get it?
Yeah, we were just talking about it in vision casting. I was at vision casting and I've been mulling it over for quite some time because whenever I meet someone, I lead with web design and marketing. But really at the core of it, what I actually do is email marketing. But you know how it is. We always have this imposter syndrome. We always think that, oh, well, maybe I'm not the one to do this, but we're still stepping into it, kind of doing it, but we just haven't called ourselves out in doing it. And that for me is email marketing because I've learned how to email market in such a way that you can get replies. I've learned like replies straight from people being on your list and replying back and being engaged. Like one of the core things, we may not be showing up on Motivating Mompreneurs, in the social media side, but we are showing up in the email side, especially when the podcast is up. But the summer has been kind of crazy, this is why we're getting this revved up back up in the summer because we're trying to build that momentum for when September opens because we're having Motivating Mompreneur Society open house. Then you can really come in and see what we got going on. And some of the things that we got going on is long time dreams from our digital magazine that's going to be dropped So you get the issue number one if you come in for free. You can get access to it, flip through the pages. It looks beautiful, professional, and it's just like the quality that I want to instill is that we're going to do things in excellence, and not just in excellence, but I believe in the phrase of like, do your best and God does the rest. And so, sitting down and speaking with Christina and kind of like talking about why this and why that, why should we do that? Because Christina will challenge me in ways that I have not ever been challenged before, which is a good thing. And I'm very thankful for it because it honestly really makes me think in a different way that I can like, okay, how can I bring this to the market that makes it a no-brainer? And yes, you have to have a good offer. Yes, you have to have a good landing page. Yes, you have to have a good website. At the core of it, if you're not connecting with people in the deeper aspects, such as email, then you're losing out on so many sales and so many connections and so much of what your business can be. And if you're not collecting emails, where do the sales happen? Because once I submit an email, I know I'm purchasing something. And if they do not collect my email, I'm suspect. Like, that's sus. Like, dude, how come you're not collecting my email is a bit sus. Everyone collects emails, went from purchasing things to getting connected to getting an event. Everything is about email, but we're losing touch if we're not getting engaged in the email and only thinking about social media. You'll find that social media doesn't even post some of your stuff in real time as maybe an email does. Like, it gets immediately. If you're having an event, you need tickets to sell, send that email. Yes, blast it on social media, but the email is where the conversions will happen.
I'm really glad you mentioned that because I was actually working with somebody recently on launching a product. And when they kind of showed me their existing strategy and what they already had in place, like it was strictly just organic social media. They did not consider email marketing at all. And so I suggested that we add it because email marketing actually amplifies anything else that you're already doing. If you do it correctly and you make sure that the things are linked together, think about it this way. If you, okay, what am I going to sell? My services. I'm going to go sell operations, online operations management for businesses or something like that. I'm going to go start selling that on Threads and Instagram and LinkedIn. I can talk and post. I can get likes, but it doesn't necessarily translate to sales. What happens when somebody is interested, sees my post or my content, and then their kids come and grab their phone so they can watch Cocomelon or something like that? It doesn't mean that they did not want to purchase, just life got in the way. Now consider yourself, because I've been here many times, a week later, I really wanted to purchase that thing. I don't remember what the name of the business was. Oh, well, hopefully I'll see an ad again. Do you really want to leave it to that chance? Or if it's something I'm interested, I'm more than happy to give you my email, because I assume and I hope that those notifications are going to come later that are going to give me the opportunity to still go and buy it later. So that's kind of the analogy that I always do when it comes to email marketing.
And when I remember one time I was like doing my podcast and, and doing my social media, I legit got like a DM that says, I think it was either a DM or an email that says, hey, can you add me to your list? They actually requested to get on the list. The reason why Montreal's Facebook group has even email capture because people requested that. When I first had the group, there was no email capture. They're like, hey, I would like to get on your list. And you put me on your list. So people are wanting to be more connected in your email. And people are wanting to receive your email. And if you're not like putting content out there via your email, letting people know your next sale because you think that people don't want your item, think again, baby girls, they do. So get on your email. And not only that, working with clients too, Christina. I was working with a client, never had an email, had a following of over 60,000 on Instagram. right? We did her. I said, hey, you need to get on email marketing DV, especially if you're selling things. You need to get them, and again, you're going to get more sales in your email, all that. That was one of my clients that did over an additional 20,000 from like 3 months from having an email list, having, of course, having her new website, having an email list, that increased. And also, it was one final piece. It was her email list. It was engaging in it. Oh, her products were only max, I believe it was $25. And she did 20,000 in sales because she maximized her email list growth. She only had 3,000 in her email compared to her 60,000 following. So, and if you want to learn about that case study, it's actually in the society, because I even put that case study in the society. So I just want you to know, like, you are missing, and this is after we got her a new cart. Never had a cart before. She had everything on Teachable. We had to revamp her stuff. And now she's on GlowDust and has a beautiful cart that aligns with what she's selling. And she gets sales galore. And then she re-engages her list. She sells out. She sells out in whatever event now that she has. She's like, oh my gosh, I sold out. I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's expected with everything. But the quality of your content and your email list, you know? So don't underestimate the value of the email list, because she goes there before she even has a public sale, if that makes sense. Before she even sells on social media, you'll sell to her email list first, and then immediately get sold out on whatever she's selling. Just for context. One example.
Yeah, I think it's wild because I think we're naturally attracted to the shinier things. So when you see somebody offering to help you, grow by tens of thousands of followers on whatever platform or things like that, you think, oh, this might be the thing that brings my business. But you have to look at what are the goals? You have to understand your goals in order to pick the right strategy to get there. You can't just pull a random framework or pull a random strategy out of a hat and hope that one's going to help you. So for me, email marketing is what you use when you want to maximize your sales opportunities. You want to maximize the relationship that you have with an existing audience. So you have to learn how to pull people from one spot to another. So they have to be able, you have to make it easy, and they have to be able to get on your email list. And then you have to keep them engaged appropriately and know when to reach out. And when you can do those things, you have no idea how much revenue and sales you're leaving on the table just because you said, oh, I have 60,000 followers, but this post only got 100 likes. That's why I'm not making money. When in reality, there are businesses out there. I remember this one coach that I used to know. She, at this time, I think she had she was still under 2,000 followers on Instagram, and she was doing 70 to 75K in her coaching business every month. Her socials were nah, there wasn't that much going on. But obviously it's because of email marketing, which unless you're on the list, you don't see what's going on. And honestly, it doesn't have to be this big complicated thing, but it's making a huge, huge impact. So, surface level visibility does not always translate to revenue, but with email marketing, it can become very predictable.
And let's be real, this season of our life, when we have babies and we have spouses and we have just life happening, there's moments that we don't want to post. We don't want to show up on social media. We don't want to be in our stories. And some of us are more introverts than extroverts or ambiverts. That's a new one, right? That's a new one these days. But the thing about it is sometimes you don't feel like posting. But you know what? Writing is such a fluid way that we can also connect and just have something that we have there. So, okay, I'm just going to send an email, quick inspirational thing. Boom, just send it out. And it feels a lot less exposure to yourself than it is with social media. Sometimes you don't even need to do social media. You can just do email marketing. A lot of businesses just do email marketing and don't really maximize their social media efforts. But you can do both. And that also would expand everything, right? But if you don't have email, Because you can have social media and not have email, and you're shooting yourself in the foot. And then you can have email and not have social media, but you're not really shooting yourself on your foot because you actually will grow quicker, and you can grow anything when you have your email list like dialed in. You can grow that new product. You can grow that new business. You can grow that new social media channel quicker by understanding email and email marketing than you can do with social media and the algorithm. For whatever reason, social media is not attuned to grow so fast as email is if you do use it strategically. And that's one of the reasons why I was teaching bundles and virtual summits, because those are one of the quickest paths of growth to grow your email list. But if you haven't even understood how to set it up, you know, so you don't even understand how to do your sequences, segment your group, understand the numbers, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. So that's one of the reasons why I was like, you know what? I think I'm doing people a disservice, and we are doing people a disservice if we're not touching on email marketing and pivoting into not just bundles and virtual summits, but encompassing email marketing as a whole within society. Your thoughts on that, Christina?
Yeah, no, I think it's spot on. I think it's important to obviously share. It's a pivot. It's not a complete change. Like I said, we've been doing email marketing. You've been doing email marketing from the beginning, but it's just that is not the way that we had been marketing outwardly. It's not the way that we'd been communicating the benefits of the society.
Right. What's the offer? Right. We all go through that.
Yeah.
As entrepreneurs, like, what's the offer? Why should I get in there?
Yeah.
We're all good.
And obviously we've talked recently about where I'm at in my own business outside of monetizing mompreneurs and the branding and positioning work that I've been doing. And it's a lot of the same, where because we know our work and we're so ingrained in the work, it can be difficult to, I think, like come up for air a little bit and put yourself 1000% back into the audience's shoes. We always mean well, we always want to do that, but sometimes we just get so caught up in our own head and the actual work that we do that we make an assumption, and then we kind of build our communications and marketing off of that assumption. So it's always great to work with somebody else or be part of a community. I mean, many Christian mompreneurs are, at least start as solopreneurs. So it's good to be in community where you're getting guidance and interaction and challenges and questions on everything that you're doing, because again, you can't always put yourself in the other seat. But when you do, then you realize it's not necessarily that people are obsessed with bundles and everybody's lining up down the street to learn how to do bundles. What they're actually obsessed with is building a business that doesn't completely revolve around them, that generates consistent sales and consistent income, that creates happy customers and customers that come back and customers that bring other customers. Those are the things that we're looking for. And if we really think about that, email marketing is at the core of how we make that happen. So we're just pivoting to really making that, front and center. And we're going to be doing a lot of exciting things to help those who are in the audience do that for themselves. I don't know how much you want to talk about that, Linda, but maybe we should talk a little bit about some of the things people can expect.
As Christina was saying, the core focus, of course, is going to be growing your business. But how do we do that? What's the avenue for that growth? One of the things when I sit down with clients, when I sit down with society members and students, is one of the questions I ask, okay, I get you're good at X, Y, Z, right? I get you're good. But what's the avenue that's going to get them to where they want? The reality is, then you'll have a website that converts. And what converting means, getting on your email list and making that sale, then you have a website that is doing you the search. Because that's what a website is ultimately meant to provoke, is someone to get in touch with you. If you have a website with a high bounce rate, something's going on. You need to check that out. There's some things that are going on, because they should be lingering. There should be some lingering going on because they're in the right place. They found the right person and they're lingering and they want to get deeper into your world because you have something that they need. And so with that, what is that something that with everything what I have done from the beginning to now have been about growing your business and to get faster than what a lot of these gurus talk about. And I'm telling you, it's kind of like a lot of them talk about, well, social media and content. But then they don't really give you context of what that content is. But email marketing is an avenue that you can really tap into that right away you'll start getting results. Because if you understand that your email, no one's signing up to your email, then your offer is wrong, right? If no one's signing up, then something's wrong because signing up is free. So if you get someone to sign up for free, okay, you got something going on. Someone wants to hear about this. Someone wants to listen to this. And that's the core of what we're going to be teaching inside the society. The core of the society is that email marketing aspects and how you can relate it into a bundle, relate it into getting ready for participating in a bundle and getting ready to do your nurture sequences, all of that. And like, what do I write about? How many times do I send out? So my idea is creating prompts for you to, hey, here's a couple of ideas that you can send your email list this week that will get this type of outcome. Hey, so right, we want to create the ARC, or we want to create the know, like, and trust method. The ARC is the method I kind of like dubbed from the know, like, and trust, which basically is awareness, resonate with your audience, and credibility. You need to hit on all those three inside your email list in order for people to understand who you are, why they're there. And if you don't have, and so write the avenue. Going back to what the avenue is, I was like, okay, what can I talk about? I can talk about social media. I can talk about, podcasting. I can talk about all these things, but the core of it, it's at the core is like, what are you going to send out to your list today? That's what I really can talk about. What can invoke a reply from your email list, from the consumer, from the person that is following you, and how can you get a reply or response from, right? What type of email can you craft? What are the psychological factors that you can add into an email that makes people want to click or join or be a part of something that you're putting together? How can you be in a bundle and still not lose your open rate? Because I remember as a speaker, I was speaking about bundles and the power of email bundles. And one of the fears is, well, what if the open rates go down? You will only have that fear if you don't even understand why someone would sign up to your offer in the first place, or why you're connecting with these other people who look like audiences. So have no fear. Monte Marketing is here.
Linda always has the catchphrases. If anybody ever needs a catchphrase or like trendy is not even close. But if you need a really juicy title for anything, just ask Linda because she's full of these all day long. Just got to put that out there.
I'm cracking up in the background, but I went on a tangent. But it's like, I don't know what happened. Maybe I was in some type of zone. But, right, Christina? I mean, and so, okay, so we're sitting down like, you know what? Let's rev up the engine and just slap this onto a podcast episode so people understand what's going on. Yeah, it's in the nitty gritty, but things are done in the nitty gritty. And a lot of people don't show the behind the scenes of the nitty gritty. Like I said, I've been mulling over, like, what's my thing? I know we went over your thing, right, Christina? Just last week, I think it was like, hey, what's our thing? What's our thing? And I mean, I guess one of the things that you can understand what your thing is, but you got to make it juicy. So what's marketable? Bundles is not very marketable. Virtual summit, not very marketable. But as soon as you hit email list, extremely marketable. Like, you have me at email list. You know what I'm saying? So I had to understand what was the defining thread of real estate marketing society. And it was ridiculously difficult to understand it because when you're in it, you don't get it. And then when you get it, no one can take it away from you. Yeah.
That's mic drop right there. Because I think, I think, like I said, it's so much easier said than done. And you know your craft and you know the work and like we know the technical terms and you kind of like get lost in it because we know with whatever your domain is, you know what should you focus on, what should you ignore, what's true, what is just a myth. But you have to remember that your audience doesn't necessarily like they wouldn't be your audience or your clients if they had the same level of expertise as you did, right? They're not always going to think about it in the way that you do. And I mean, Linda, you know, I'm always thinking about, okay, but with whatever we're doing in terms of our strategy and our operations, how does it impact the customer? How does it impact the person on the customer? And so
challenge me on that.
and so when I'm asking those questions or when I'm thinking that through, this is still the one area where I've noticed myself doing it less. It comes naturally when I'm talking about other people's offers, of course, as you know, but on my own, it's like, what is my thing? What is my angle? What do people in my audience want to hear? Because I don't want to talk to people about something they don't want to hear about. What would be the point of it? And so that is my way of, I guess, identifying with anybody listening, but also sharing that when you can come away from that and find the thing, then you're able to move forward. And no matter what your thing is, email marketing and building that list is going to be, that's like jumping off the high diving board instead of the little one. Like, sure, you could start with social or whatever, but if you learn how to build that email list, like you have that email list, that is yours. It doesn't belong to random social media platform that can just block you and shut it down. That's yours. And that's like each person on your email list. I hate to say it, but it's almost like that's potential revenue. Each person. It's not the same for social. Each follower is not actually potential revenue. The conversion rates are way, 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 way lower. So for me, if you're going to sell me on how to create an email list, then I'm in. But if you're going to sell me strictly on the fact that I need to host a summit every year, I might hesitate on that one. But if I understand that email marketing is the thing,
yeah, and that's what you're going to get in the society, all things social media with email marketing. How to market on social media to get people on your email, right? How to create your ecosystem with email marketing. Because email needs to be the basis of your ecosystem.
Yeah. So I love it. I love it. And I'm excited for what's next. And is it okay with you if I talk a little bit about what people can expect from us coming next?
Yeah, I mean, too. Like what questions? And go ahead. I'm just like, this is up in the air, but I like doing episodes like this because sometimes we don't even take the step forward unless the action sometimes gets us to where we need to go. I wouldn't be at the cusp of where my podcast is if I just like, no, I gotta remember how you were, Christine, I gotta have it perfect. Yes. Right? I gotta have it perfectly perfect because perfection is perfect.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Christina.
Yeah, thank you. So, like I said, always thinking about the person on the other end of it. So for anyone listening to the podcast, I'd love to kind of show you what it is we're working on and what you can expect to potentially see. Now, obviously, like Linda said, we're literally like, this is today. We're having this conversation and we decided to record. So in terms of the exact content, obviously we still have to tailor that and write all of that. But one thing we want to do for sure is to start bringing real actionable tips and insights to our own email newsletter that will help you take steps with building your email list. So these are going to be things that especially Linda has used herself. She's known it. So you will be getting those notes from Linda in the newsletter going forward, which we hope you will love. And I mean, we are always open to feedback. So definitely want to hear what you think of these tips as you start to see them and any questions that you have, because we want to answer the questions that you want answered. The next thing is, and now some of you would have seen this in, well, we are talking today, it's July 14th. So last week, some of you would have seen our newsletter mentioning a few exciting things happening. If you're in our Facebook group and in the circle community, the Monetizing Mompreneur Society, Linda actually posted a sneak peek that, I don't know, maybe I advise against, because she is showing you so much cool inside stuff. She actually shared a sneak peek of the magazine ahead of our launch so that you can get a feel for it and also give some feedback. So if you're not in the society already, I would definitely recommend joining, because you will get to hear more of these conversations, between Linda and I as we build things, but also just more insider tips, announcements. You'll be able to vote on things, and we're going to start dropping content in there that should help you as well in the free portion of the community. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is in the actual membership that's going to be relaunching come September 17th. Linda, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't have the date in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's September 17th, and there will be a link to register in the show notes. But our open house is going to show you everything that's next for monetizing mompreneurs and that new experience, because we have been working so far over the summer and will continue through the rest of the summer to just really revamp everything that's inside of our circle community for just the best experience. And we just really want it to be actionable. We want you to be able to come to this community, have conversations, get information, follow tutorials and trainings and all of that, and get what you need. So we'll definitely be sharing more of that over the summer as well. So all to say, through all of the different ways that we communicate with you all, you're going to start seeing more and more about email marketing. And we hope it's actionable for you.
Feels so good to me energetically. It feels like this is what I have been meant to do. I have tested. I have been behind marketing campaigns. I have grown other people's email lists. I have helped engage other people's email lists. I have helped people create new email lists because of bundles, because of virtual summits. We have all these tools available to us. And I'm just here so welcome. I feel so honored. That I get to teach you guys about email and email marketing, and that we can take it to next level as well. And we can be in the low level, we can be in the next level. And some of the things that we have going on, as Christina has told you all, we have the digital magazine that will be launching, Lord willing, in August, the first issue. So get on our email list if you want to see the first issue, if you want to download that first issue and see what we got going on. And then our open house, yep, it is September 17th at 1 p.m. EST time. I am so ridiculously excited about it. I feel like God has been, it's almost like he doesn't show you the whole staircase. You just have to take the next step that he shows you. And this has been the next step. It's about email marketing. Now, are we going to have deeper levels? Yes, we have a scholarship called Momentum. If you want to apply, if you're looking for deeper connections and growing your email list, and you really want to grow it fast, then Momentum is for you, because you will gain momentum based on the strategies I will be teaching as far as a scholarship. So we have room for 10 women. I believe it's 10. If I'm not wrong, Christina, I think it is. Yes, I've sent it to my email list. I know a few of you have applied. And of course, if you're a society insider, the scholarship fee is waived. It's $97 to apply. And it's not even to apply. It's $97 to be accepted. So you'll only pay that $97. It is a $2,500 to $5,000 program that we're pretty much beta launching. And it's all about growing with momentum. But yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Like I said, if you really want to grow fast, look up the scholarship. It's in our email newsletter. So subscribe to the email newsletter, get in the waiting room. If you see anything that says join the society, inside will be the wait list to get into the open house. And in the open house, we're going to reveal everything within the society. But I had to let you know what the society is going to be about. And this, of course, is about networking. We're having matchmaking networking events. And I love that because it was an idea that I've always wanted. And it's like, man, I'm a web designer and I'm looking for clients, or I'm a VA and I'm looking for clients. So if you're someone looking for clients, or if you're someone that would be a client and you're looking for different types of virtual assistants or different types of web designers that you can actually speed date, or if you're looking for friendships and you're not about growing your business, you want more biz besties, we're having those connections in our matchmaking networking services. And then I feel like I'm missing something.
Okay, so we talked about the scholarship, we talked about matchmaking, I talked about updating the newsletter, we got guest teachers, you want to be a guest teacher. So a lot of our podcast guests have been from guest teachers as well. Our last guest teacher was Krista Jennings on sales funnels.
Ooh, she knows her stuff.
Yes. We were just talking earlier today that this pivot is kind of the missing thread that allows the brand to just show up as it's meant to be and deliver the value that you all deserve and that you all can benefit from. And so I think really keeping the email marketing as the core driver of business success. Obviously, we're still keeping the emphasis on doing it as a community, gathering together as fellow, Christian mompreneurs that, want to build our businesses, not just in a way that works, but in a way that matches where our heart is at, where our spirit is at. And we want to be around others doing the same. Like I said, it's not easy to be a mom. It's not easy to also be a mompreneur and a Christian one at that. And so to really just have a group of like your people, I think is just so encouraging. I know for me, sometimes I need the community in order to kind of push myself to do the things I know I need to do. And so we just want to bring more of that. And so everything we're gearing up for all up to September 17th is just really all being done intentionally with releasing that to you all and getting you all in that experience. So I guess we can't drive that home enough that this is all for you. And I mean, I talk with Linda regularly, and Linda, I'm gonna share some of that, which is like Linda cares so much about the women that she works with. Like I really, and I'm sure I can say that, she can say that, but like for you all to see Linda's heart in this and the way that she is intentionally designing like every aspect of the brand, the business, everything has a strategic place and it's all meant to serve you better, especially those that have been around since the beginning that have maybe taken a chance on Linda before the brand was where it's at today and continue to work with her through that. And so for me to see that from afar is just like, there's nothing better, because that's the type of business that I want to be in. One that like truly serves others and puts God's will first. Nothing is decided without prayer. Nothing is decided without following God's lead first. And so I know there's so much that we're talking about and that you're seeing that I certainly cannot take credit for, and a lot that I know Linda will not take credit for, because you're seeing a little glimpse of it here. But this thing really has come together and grown itself in such a way that can only be described as by God. And so I'm just really excited for you all to see that and share some of those details that I think Linda probably would not. So sorry, Linda, but I shared.
No, thank you. No, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Christina. And it's a good reminder. Like, I mean, this hasn't been easy. Yeah, this is what I could say. This hasn't been easy. I've definitely been in a lot of prayer over monetizing entrepreneurs, over the society, over the website. We're launching a new website, taking my name somewhere else and slapping on monetizing because the podcast is there. So all of that rich SEO. I don't know if I'm doing, and I don't know if the right thing to do or that there's so many things that can be scary in business and we're going to make mistakes. And you know what I love? I heard someone say it like this. God already accounted your stupidity into it. Right? Whatever it is that you are doing, God already knew about the stupid things you might do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not perfect. You can tell. And if there's anything good that you see, I know that's the Holy Spirit. That's God Almighty. And I am doing my best to always check my heart. I'm definitely always in prayer, not just over the vision, but also with what God is doing in the inside of me, because we are speaking with so many people, expecting this to come to life. And just having that weight of expectation on you, it can also be heavy, right? But thank you, Christina.
You're welcome. So yeah, I think we've shared the things, but I also
In a messy way, in a messy way.
in a real way, because this is
Really.
not like business is not social media. It's not picture perfect. It's not. And there's like tough decisions to be made. There's things that have to be figured out.
Yeah.
AI or no AI, you can't just snap your fingers and have it all put together. It's work, right? So I'm just happy to be able to share a glimpse of all of that with everyone because I think it just, shows what we're all about even more. So I'm very excited. And I emphasize too, comments. We love feedback. So please, as your community success queen, please us your feedback so we can tailor things to you.
Yeah, we need that.
Ways is important. And leading up to this open house, there's still room for some decisions to be made and some things to be changed. And we do have a small group of insiders kind of giving us some feedback, but there's still room for more. So I really want to emphasize, like, reach out, join the Facebook group, join Circle, email, just get a hold of us.
Join. I mean, how many there already in Circle?
Ooh, let me see.
I think we have around, I know it's over 60.
Definitely. And actually, let me just say something about that as well. I want people to understand the opportunity that comes from being early in a community that's being built. When you come in, when it's under 100, when it's under 1,000 even, you have the opportunity to build some really strong relationships. And as the community grows, that kind of core group who'd been there from the beginning really feels like almost like the OG insiders. Like, we've watched this thing grow, but also you come out of that with some really important allies. You could find prayer partners, you could find business partners and collaborators. But when you show up and you're engaging and you're creating content inside the community that can help others and support others, you're not just spamming away all the time. But when you show up purposefully and authentically, you have the opportunity to create a lot of really important relationships. You even have the opportunity to help build some of the things that are going to serve you. And better yet, when that big push finally happens for us, the open house on the 17th of September, your face, your profile picture, and your name are already in there. You've already been engaging. What do you do when you first join a community? You scroll around, you look at what people are already doing, what people are already talking about, and you're kind of trying to find your place to jump in. So if you get there early, when others are doing that, you have much more chances of being discovered as well. And so all that being said, don't wait. Just come in now, hang out, give us feedback, learn some stuff, and we can all grow together. But if I am looking here, I see.
I got it.
I got it.
86.
Yeah, we're at 86 now, which is so close. 14 more till 100.
Wow, we got to celebrate when it's 100. But yes, come in. Like I said, we have free events. We have our guest teacher events. Those are always free currently. So head in while you can. And then we have the digital magazine that's coming. If you want to be a contributor, oh yeah, definitely looking for a contributor. I decided, I haven't told you yet, Christina, but I decided that it's going to be a quarterly magazine. I thought about the logistics of a monthly magazine, and that was, I decided quarterly because number one, we can see who wants to write for the magazine, who wants to be a part of the magazine, who even wants to read the magazine to see the analytics of the magazine, because numbers are important. But so far, from what I can see, God has definitely blessed and anointed the magazine to be something very inspirational. It's something that I wanted to always read when I was in the beginning of my business. Even now, I love reading about these stories and these women. I mean, they encourage me a lot of these stories that is within the magazine. Actually, I think I might read someone that was recently in the podcast because the magazine also correlates with some of our podcast guests. And we're about to close this episode out, but I want to read something within the magazine, especially someone that was in, these stories are so impactful. And sometimes this is something that you guys have not seen yet, that I have not put in the blog or even in the podcast, but they have been on the podcast. And every member that has been on the podcast, they have an interview. And the interview was meant to be part of the blog, but I was never able because of SEO. It wasn't really SEO rich. So marketing and strategy wise, I couldn't put it in a blog post or put it part of the podcast post. So I saved it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll go inside the magazine. And so these are conversations. So this conversation, here's one. So Rachel Roche was recently on the podcast in episode 136, From Worship Leader to CEO. So if you listen to that episode, you'll know how she's transitioned from worship leader into a CEO and what she currently is doing now. And one of her Be the Woman is the Be the Woman series. And she says, be the person God created you to be. And don't be afraid to be different from those around you. Dream big. When you place every aspect of your life in God's hands and trust Him, He will flourish it always. And in her conversation, just to give you guys a sneak peek, one of the questions that we ask, these are the questions that we ask. We ask, what keeps you motivated? What has been a highlight in your business? What has been a low light? And how did you bounce back? What are the lessons you've learned? What refreshes you? What should readers gain from your social media? And then where to start in finding you. So I'll go with the lessons she's learned. She says, the lesson she's learned is it's okay to shift and pivot. No matter how old you are or what degree you have. She says, I have a bachelor's and a master's in music and taught in public school for 15 years. You'd think shifting career paths would be out of the question, but God had other plans. He knew exactly where my heart was and answered it tenfold. So that was just Rachel's Be the Woman series inside Monetizing Mompreneur magazine. And we have so many of those, and also articles that will inspire you from our contributors. And I'm going to do, and then one of my other ones that I'm going to do is I feel led to share about this article called Moms Wreaking Havoc on the Enemy by Stepping into Your Calling. And a question here is, what if the most revolutionary act is climbing the ladder? Isn't climbing the ladder, it's jumping off entirely. And she is a business coach. She's a Christian mindset and business coach, and her name is Kristen Dronchi. I hope I'm not butchering her name. And her article starts with, we've been sold a lie, mama. The world says success looks like a corner office, a fancy title, and a 401k. That our worth is measured by salary and our ability to have it all. I did everything right. First generation off the dairy farm and into a college degree. I got the stable job. I became the breadwinner. I achieved what the world calls success, and I was completely miserable. My relationships were suffering. My identity was lost. I felt like a robot. Wake up, work, come home, repeat. Despite checking every box, I found myself crying out, Lord, there has to be more to this. Now, you can check out her article in this next issue in Monetizing Mompreneurs magazine. You can read the rest of that. It is so good and so many other stories worth mentioning, but I can't do it all in this sitting.
I'm so excited for these stories to be shared because I feel like in reading them and going through this or like editing this, you can tell that these things were ordained. They were not anointed. Like it's just all meant to be. And so I'm so excited to finally have a place to share those with people that want to hear it. So yeah, I think there's just so much good that's going to come from all of this.
And like I've seen it that people would interview people for their blog. I've seen that too. But I feel like this is special, this digital magazine. I do. I feel like, and that's one of the reasons why I really want to do it well. And that's why I opted for quarterly. I mean, the contributors have done a phenomenal job. We're definitely going to be doing something special soon, so stay tuned. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. The Lord has opened the door that we're able to drop an episode a week until September 17th. Lord willing, everything will go well. And honestly, this is in God's hands. The podcast has always been in God's hands. Every time when I try to put it down, He picks it back up. The magazine, all by God's grace, but from the avenue that it will be delivered, because it looks super pro. The pages look so beautiful. From the contributors being a part of this, and this has been years in the making. Magazine has been pretty much, I could say, years in the making, and finally coming to life. And these women are like still in there, still like ready for this thing. I'm in shock and awe of just like the anointing God has placed on this. And I think my final thing is like, who are we to doubt what God can do with our faith, with our step of obedience, with what we can give Him, right? We plant the seed and He gardens it.
Amen.
And I'm very excited to share with everyone inside the community.
Let's do it.
Until next time.
Bye.